Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambam Sankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sakana Bhavatu Sakana Punaktu Sakaviryan Karabhavakai Tejasvina Vadidamastuma Vidvishabhakai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivaspadaya Mrityave Brahma Vidyacharya Nachikedasya. Good morning. So, in the third Valli of Kathopanishad, we have seen up to the 10th mantra. In the journey of life, as we now learned, that we, you and I, as a jiva, is endowed with a chariot of faculties. The body, mind, intellectual complex, and the driver, the buddhi being the driver. So the journey has to be in the right direction so that the journey comes to a positive end. Why? Because if it is not ending, we'll be just traveling all the time without any rest. The end of the travel means that you attained the truth that you seek. In other words, you attained the complete bliss. Now, what that could be, that clue is given when we started the first mantra. Because before the journey starts, you as a jiva, you enter into this embodiment as a shadow of the light. If the shadow means there must be a light. Shadow has no existence by itself. Shadow is mithya, apparent reality. It has no real existence. So if there is a shadow, there must be a light. There must be an impediment that causes the shadow. And if I am the shadow, then I am backed up by a light. And there is an impediment in me which casts this shadow. So this is the insight we get. Then we had an example of a ratham and we are traveling. So if you imagine, therefore, we are riding away from us along the objects of Vijaya, because the Indriyas are looking after the Vijayas. You have a travel. That travel is endless travel. The truth being the light, because shadow is mithyatvam. So my travel should be not away from the light by using the light as a guide, but towards the light, again using light as a guide. So what do we normally do? We pray to God, God give me a nice life, lead me in the right direction. I am your follower. And then we look into the world to be prosperous, happy, rich, healthy, long life, Pashuputra Labham. So that is one travel. But that travel, even though it is necessary in this world, it is not something going to end in a positive way. So while we do this external materialistic travel, you have to have an actual internal travel. The travel should be towards the light. So the chariot have to drive towards the light. So what is this journey is called? This journey is called Adhyatma Yoga. So Adhyatma Yoga is not 15 minutes workout in a gym or like that. It is not upasana, it's not a karma, it's not a puja. Adhyatma Yoga is an orientation in life. That everything that you do, everything that you say, everything you think is in the pursuit of finding out the truth, finding out the light, finding out who you really are. Naturally, the question will come. Now, when I go to job, when I'm writing a book, or when I'm teaching something, when I'm eating something, how can I have this kind of a Adhyatma Yoga? You can, provided when you execute your personality, you execute with your undercurrent, that you're doing it in order to find the truth of yourself. And this will come. Now, if you undertake this, this is the journey of life that you must follow. Now, how do I do this? Then, in the first few mantras, he gave us some evidence that you are a jiva. That means you are not the body, you are not the senses, because he gave different examples, no? Senses of the horses. You are not the mind, because mind is controlling the horses. You are not the driver, because buddhi is the driver. So who am I? So I am the enjoyer. So you can see the Guru has actually given certain steps to separate the true nature of yourself from the embodiment. So in the 10th and 11th mantra, the 10th we saw in the last class, he goes deeper. He gives what is called a Pancha Kosha Vilakshanam, Pancha Kosha Vivekam. Pancha Kosham, 5 sheets. We saw in the last class, very quickly. What is the 10th verse we had? Indriyepyaha para hayadaha ardepyascha param manaha manasastu para buddhir buddhir atma mahan paraha. So in the 10th and the 11th, he is telling you, when you analyze your embodiments, there are 5 different koshas. And you have to move from the gross to the subtle. The more subtle you are approaching, more finite the truth that comes to you. So if you are dealing with the gross world, subtlety requires intellectual capacity to think deeply, differentiate, discriminate. So he said, Indriyepyaha arthaha param. So in this world, you see, if you take a Panchakosham, the body is the Annamaya Kosha. We saw in the last class. Body is an instrument given to you. You nourish it by food and use it. The body is needed to translate the gross aspect into subtle aspects and vice versa. So the body is instrument, but it is inert. We say that body is needed to hear, to see, to smell. But the smelling power, the seeing power, the hearing power is not in the body. Body is just the hardware, the software that is in the indriyas. So body is needed, of course. So the body is inert. It grows with what you fed with. So he is not even thinking about discussing body anymore. So he left the body aside, but he goes into the indriyas. So he says, Indriyepyaha arthaha param. So here he making a very subtle statement. Arthas are the vishayas. Indriyas are the senses. Oh, I had a nice smell. I have a nice song, nice taste. So all these are objects giving you certain enjoyment. Now, what is going behind these objects? Your indriyas. Therefore, the indriyas are bound by the arthas. Param, one of the meaning for the param is niyanda, controlling. So, artha vishaya, the vishayas are controlling the indriyas. Bhashyakara says, here the artha should take to mean artha sankalpa, vishaya sankalpa, desires, the thoughts in your mind that wants to acquire sensory objects. Then the senses go. You see, but there's a control. See, if I want to listen to the music, you can't use your eyes. The senses have no control. You need to use the ears. The sensory energy that you need, the hearing faculty. Why? Because hearing is what the object is. It is in music. So artha vishaya is control my sensory. That's what I need. So I have no liberty to use my eyes to hear the music. You see? So therefore the vrittis of desires are more powerful, more subtle than the senses itself. So why do we have to know this? Because the higher nature controls the lower nature. I gave an example last time. The body, the Annamaya Kosham, is grosser than the Pranamaya Kosham. So prana is subtler. Therefore, prana is param. Therefore, prana is niyandam. It controls the body. You saw that breathing controls your body. The mind controls the breathing. So the higher the nature of the subtlety, the more control the subtle nature has. So we saw that. Then he said, Ardepyascha param manaha. The mind from in which the vrittis are coming is more subtler. Because vrittis are thoughts that are parading in the mind. So mind is a surface in which this sankalpa vikalpams happen. It is the controller of the senses. It is an arbitrator for the senses, aggregator of senses. So mind is more subtle. Okay. Then it says, Manasastu para buddhi. So the buddhi, what is the difference between buddhi and the mind? Buddhi is the elitist part of the mind which makes decisions. Buddhi is a sthanam for ragadvesham, sthanam for ahankaram. When you say, I like this, that decision come made by the buddhi. And because you like it, the manas has got a vikalpam, sankalpam. I must get it. I must have a means to find out. How can I do it? Anxiety comes in. So mind is the one which acts. The buddhi is the one who determines. So buddhi is a subtle part of the mind. Right. So if you take the Annamaya Kosham, Pranamaya Kosham, Manomaya Kosham, Vijnanamaya Kosham. The Annamaya Kosham is the body. We ignore that for a minute. The Pranamayam, Manomayam becomes the Sukshma Sarira. The Buddhi, Vijnanamaya, the Sukshma Sarira. Then we must go to the Anandamaya Kosham. Is it not? What is Anandamaya Kosham? It's a Karana Sarira. Don't have doubt on it. Because this is where people get confused. Sthula Sariram, I can know. It is my limbs, my bones, my blood, and everything. Sukshma Sariram, I can imagine my mind, my senses, my capacity to think. What is Karana Sariram? Karana Sariram is the cause. If I am in this body, why am I in this body? Why I take this birth? Why I am born as this person, this man, of this parent? Why? I don't know. That I don't know is avidya, but there is actually a reason for it. That is karma. So the karmas packed in the avidya reasoning is a body. It's a body of thought that we have no means to deal with this right now. That is what is creating this birth after birth after birth. So let us leave the Karana Sarira for a minute. We don't know how to deal with this. But the Sthula Sariram and Sukshma Sariram, we can deal with this. Sthula Sariram is inert, we give it up. In the Sukshma Sariram, we analyze it into Indriyas, Manas, and Buddhi. So as a Jiva, the Chaya in me, the Chaya that I am not the Buddhi. Because Buddhi is my driver. Mind, I am not. Mind is the rain. Indriyas are the horses, they are not. I know each one is subtler than the other. But who am I? I'm not this. Now, Yamadharmaraja now jumps into a different plane of thinking. He is not pushing this thought into Anandamaya question right now. He says in the last line, Buddher Atma Mahan Paraha. Buddhi Mahan Atma Param. That's what it means. It means there is something called Mahan Atma Param that is more subtle than the Buddhi. That means my Jiva, my Buddhi, see, every time I move, I am becoming better. Buddhi is lot comfortable, better than the mind and the Indriyas. Now my Buddhi, subtler than that, my Buddhi is Mahanatma. What is that Mahanatma? It is the cosmic intelligence. This is the Mahat. Sankhyas are calling Mahat. That's why I think Bhagavan is using here Mahanatma, the cosmic Buddhi. Wait a minute. I am doing a Jiva Vicharam. It is my travel, my individual travel. And you are analyzing my nature. Vilakshana. But now suddenly you are saying the cosmic intelligence is subtler than my intelligence. Why am I connected to that? It's because it is going to prove that your individuality is going to merge into the universality. It's called a VST Samashti. You must have heard about this. V, the prefix V in Sanskrit means Vinyogam, Vishesham. It's individualized, it is special, specific. Vyashti, the Ashti means reaching, existence. Vyashti means individually existing. Like I, like number 5, like a tree, like a house. Samashti, the prefix sam means totality in Sanskrit. English, sam, totality. Samashti means the total existence. So if you take the number space, take 5, say there are only 10 numbers, for example. 10 is samashti, because 10 contains 1, 2, 3, 4. There are many, many ones there in tens. See, this totality and individuality are very interesting concept. It is not just Vedanta, it is in every life, in science. You know, you take a binomial equation, or if you take in statistics, we talk about the average, mean, median, regression. If you take a numbers 1 to 5, you add up all this and find the average of it. The average is the representation of the total sample space. Samashti Rupam. Because it is the totality is reflected in the individual item. There is no difference at all. The differences are apparent. So this buddhi of mine, so if I do Jiva Vicharam, Lakshmi do a Jiva Vicharam, Balaji do a Jiva Vicharam, everybody is doing Jiva Vicharam, you come with a buddhi, but this buddhi is what? The buddhi together makes the buddhi of this satsang, the buddhi of the humanity, the buddhi of the nation. So all these thoughts are in a cosmic plane. So there is this totality exists. The totality we call it Hiranya Garbha. The Hiranya Garbha's Stula Sariram is this world. Like this body of mine is the body of this world. Ishvara is this world. So this buddhi of mine is therefore the cosmic intelligence. It's got a cosmic intelligence. It reacts. It's a cosmic senses. It reacts. The earthquake happens, tsunami happens. Things adjust because there is a cosmic feeling about how things ought to move in this cosmic body. So here he says, okay, he is not talking about any Jiva Ishvara Aikyam here. Hiranyagarbha is, who is Hiranyagarbha? Hiranyagarbha is the Sukshma Sariram of Ishvara. Purana, we say Brahmadeva. Don't worry about the Puranas. So, the 10th mantra, I have come to the point where my buddhi, which is subtler than my mind, actually, it subsides in the cosmic intelligence, which is a lot more subtle. Okay, so if I take this route, so if I now go to the cosmic part, what is next? So next he says, Mahada param avyaktam avyaktat purusha param. Purushaha paraha purushanna param kinchit sa kashta sa paragadihi. Okay. Now you must remember this inequality or the sequence of events. Annamaya Kosham, Stula Sariram, gross. Indriyas are greater than that. Mind is greater than the Indriyas. Buddhi greater than the mind. Now the Mahat or the Mahan cosmic intelligence is greater than the Buddhi. Now Avyaktam Mahata Param. The Hiranyagarbha is subservient or is contained, conditioned by Avyaktam. Avyaktam means unmanifest. The Maya, the Shakti. So what happened to Hiranyagarbha? Hiranyagarbha is in the Avyaktam. Because when the whole world goes to the pralayam, see, I go to the layam every day, called Nitya Pralayam. I go to sleep. See, you may have a question in the mind, right? Why did Bhagavan did not go to the Vijnanamaya Kosham, beyond that Anandamaya Kosham? What is Anandamaya Kosham? Ananda means bliss. But Anandamaya Kosham is Karana Sariram. The Karana Sariram is the reason for your birth. The reason for my birth is my karmas. Why? Don't know. So my Karana Sariram is Avidya. Avidya means I don't know anything. Ajnanam. Therefore, the state when I am completely ignorant of everything, I am in the state of Anandamaya Kosham. Which state is that? Sleeping state. Sushupti. When I am in Sushupti, I am completely at bliss. I don't know. I don't have a mind. I don't have buddhi. What I am ignorant of being. I don't have disease. I don't have racial discrimination, rich, poor discrimination, pain, no pleasure. So there is a kind of a sukham, but it's an ignorant sukham. I am there. What is the corresponding to the cosmic Purusha? For him, it is a pralayam. For us, we have every day this Nitya Pralayam, the deep sleep. We dissolve ourselves into the Nitya Pralayam and come back because of the Prarabdha Karma into the body again. The Hiranyagarbha also goes through a Mahapralayam, where the universe submerged into what? Into Abhyaktam, into the Maya. It is like a seed. See, when Kumbhakarna was sleeping, he's like a baby, harmless person. But when he gets up, all his bad qualities come out. Ravana may do a tapas for thousands of years and attain power in samadhi. But when he comes out of it, all his vasanas come out. So same way, when I go to sleep, and when you look at me, this man who was fighting with me this morning, irrational person, I am worthy of blaming, by everybody else. But when you look at me and sleeping and say, look, poor guy, he sleeps. Because in the sleeping, I'm not somebody to be cursed because I'm harmless. But when I get, would I become a nice person? Come back with my own swarupa. Same way the world end comes to an end and it comes back again, it all comes back again. That's why the karma is anadi. Samsaram is anadi. So even if I do all kind of Puranic Vedic rituals, I do all this thing for different world, I reach the layam, samadhi layam, I will come back again, born again. That is not mukti. Now, it's like a seed. But the important point I want to come here is because here we are doing discrimination. We're doing intellectual analysis, right? Let us divide, subdivide everything and see it. But how can I divide a seed and see, oh, this is the seed of a banyan tree? I cut open and say, this is the branch, this is the root. I cannot show you. Because there is no samashti vyashti, bedam. In the avyaktam, there is no bedam. In the unmanifest state, there is no bedam. But there is ignorance is there. So I don't know this mukti, but there's no bedam. That's the reason why, because Raja is such a great teacher. He's not only going to teach you Jiva Vicharam, Jiva Bodham, Atma Jnanam. He's going to teach you that this Atma is nothing but Paramatma, Jiveshwara Aikyam is going to teach. Advaita Anupati is going to take. Therefore, necessarily he has to show you the correlation between Yashti and Samashti. But he cannot do that in Avyaktam, in unmanifest state. Therefore, you keep that Ananda Maya Kosham, Karana Sariram, Sushupti to a different contemplation. For this Jiva Vicharam, you don't need, because in the Sushupti, Jiva doesn't exist in the state of knowing. Okay? So in this mantra, the Maya Shakti is powerful, subtler. I mean, it influences. Now, second line, Avyaktat Purushaha Paraha. That means what is subtler than the Avyaktam, supreme than the Avyaktam? Purushaha, the Ishvara, the Paramatma. The Paramatma is beyond this Maya Shakti. He is the controller of Maya. He is beyond the Avyaktam. That means he is beyond the pralayam. If everything is destroyed, who is destroying it? Who is witnessing it? Who is creating it again? There is somebody beyond that. If I have gone to sleep, if I'm in a deep sleep, I lost my body control, mind control, brain control, time control. There's no time. Then how do I get up? So it is not the jiva that gets up. It's the atma that makes you get up. The light provokes the jiva to get up. So you need the atma's blessing to go to sleep, to get up from the sleep. Understand? So what does it mean? That means this light is beyond this sushupti state. Because I have 3 states of experiences: Jagrada, Swapna, Sushupti. Jagrata is the awakening state of knowing the empirical world. Swapna is the mind is active, body is not. I dream, I create a world, I relish, I enjoy, suffer. Sushupti is I give up my body and mind, lie down as a dormant, ignorant being. Only the three things we know. The three things are managed, controlled, seen by the light which is beyond these three. Sometimes they call it Turiyam. There's no Turiyam as a state. It's the fourth state, you can say, but state is putting a position for it. It's a stateless time. It is beyond all this. Gunatitam, Nirvikaram, Nirgunam, all light, effulgence. And that is in you, in me. That is me, that is you. But before we go there, you must know that is the same thing in the cosmic being. So in the cosmos also, Purusha is there. Now, the natural tendency is we've been just scaling up one after the other, one after the other. Question is, okay, what is next? What is beyond that Purusha? Naturally, you must ask the question. Bhagavan says, Purushan param kinjit sa. Param kinjit Purushan. Kinjit, not even little bit. Purushan param. In beyond the Purusha, there is not even a little bit. There's nothing. See, there's nothing. Yeah, what did I say? There is nothing, right? If you take the is verb as is a bhavam, then you somehow think there's nothingness exists. And then they call it a sunyavadam. Buddhists say there's nothingness. Nothingness doesn't exist. For argument, you can say. Here it literally means it is only Purusha, Paripurnatvam, Purnamata, Purnamitam, Purnat Purnamudachyate. That's it. That means the journey ends there. Sa Kashta. Kashta means, Kashta is the end, culmination of the end point. That is the end point. Sa Paragatihi. The supreme path is that. What is that path? That I transcend my buddhi, I become one with the cosmic buddhi. By one with cosmic buddhi, then I become avyaktam in the Maya. Then I transcend the avyaktam, becomes Purusha. Is it possible? It must be possible. Because I do everything. I deal with this world. I can give up the body consciousness I can give up. I can give up the senses because I can focus on something where I don't even see you. I have sensory control. I can control the mind. The most tempting thing you can put in front of me, for example, I can say, no, I don't want it. I can, by practice, become a steadfast sthita prajna. I can surrender myself into the deep sleep. So all that is happening to Hiranyagarbha. Of course, his scale is bigger. His mind is everything else. But he also goes to Layam. I also go to Layam. He can transcend it because he is also Purusha. So I must also become the Atma. So there is hope. The question is, how do we do it? But then, more important question. All that sounds very logical, intellectually stimulating. But when I see a person, I don't see the person exist, the Atma exist. I can't see them. I see him as a dirty old fellow. Or even myself, when I look at it, Am I that effulgence light? I don't see it. Why? Next mantra he says, Yesha sarveshu bodheshu gudotmana prakashate drishyate dvagarye agaryaya buddhya sukshmaya sukshmadarshibihi darshibihi. Okay. Here he is telling, okay, your question is valid. Why this light is visible? Sometimes you may say, oh, he's got a tejas in his face or something like that. But this Atma, I don't see. He says, Yesha sarveshu bhudeshu. Yesha sarveshu. In all bhudeshu, all the jivas, all the jivarasis, in every life form. Gudaha Yesha. This Yesha, this Atma, this light. Gudaham. Gudaham is what? Guda means secret. This light is there. It is hidden. The light is there. Because of that, Atma na prakashate. Generally, the Atma is therefore not seen by you. It's not coming like a halo around you or something like that. You don't see it. But generally. Oh, generally means specifically somebody can see it. Drishyate, yes, it can be seen, it can be felt, it can be realized. By who? Tva agriya. Agriya means very sharp. Agriya buddhya. The buddhya, when you have a very sharp intellect. Sukshmaya. So you have two adjectives. Sukshmaya, tva agriya buddhya. And you have a very sharp, subtle intelligence. If you have, what is that kind of subtle intelligence? I'm a bright guy. IIT, all the exams I passed. Is that the intelligence you need? Well, that helps if you can analyze things, if you can ask questions. See, the intelligence is not possession of knowledge. You know, you can mug up, you can read, you can get a PhD, and you can have a lot of knowledge in you. Intelligence is the application of what you know and what you have in the context to apply, to derive what is right. So the persistent approach to apply the right tools, the application is what intelligence is all about. You know, something happens and people ask questions and you have a guess, but you don't want to really question that because it's not interesting to you. That's fine. But if it's interesting to you, what do you have to do? You have to go 100% committed. What is it? Why it is? In anything. See, the questioning mind is a blessing for us. So never say, I shouldn't question it. Don't confuse the Shraddha with the Vichara. Shraddha is not stopping you to ask questions. Just because you ask questions doesn't mean you don't have Shraddha. Because you have Shraddha, you ask questions. But for the question you ask, when the answer is given to you, by the right teacher, by the right answer is given to you, and that answer is not convincing you because your experience does not match the import of it, Shraddha helps you to hold on to it. Shraddha says, hey, it's not the teacher is wrong. I am unable to understand it. Therefore, what do I have to do? I persist. I think through it, contemplate. I'm not going to let the teacher go away. I keep asking the same question again. That is Shraddha. It is said, therefore, I won't ask questions. That's a blind faith. But don't you need to have blind faith? You need to have. If you are not able to take the sharp knife of intellect in your hand, you have to put it down, follow faith. Don't ask questions. When I say don't touch the fire, you must trust me. And then you say, okay, I want to see fire. Then you find the evidence of it by doing it. You don't. So sometimes you, like, children, when you say, like, for me now, I'm finding it difficult to memorize any mantra because my mind doesn't work that efficiently. Meda Shakti is not there. But had I been in a young age, studied and memorized it, teachers tell you to memorize it. Multiplication, they memorize it. By heart, they say by hearting. Now we use the knowledge and say, look, how can you just blindly by heart? It's wrong. My teacher has told me to ask questions. No, that is not the age. That's not the age to ask questions. You by heart. You by hearting it, your neurons get multiplied, your Meda Shakti improves, memory comes sharper, subtlety comes in, your brain becomes sharper, you get a Sukshma Buddhi, which you need right now in this mantra. So, Shraddha in your young age, or when you are in a class where you need to learn something, to recite, don't ask questions. When you're reciting Veda mantras or something for your Atma Tripti, or you learn Sarshana Parayanam, that's not the time you need to think about what is this meaning of it. Otherwise, I will not. Payasana Priya. Ambal is like payasam. What is it for? Don't go there. There you have to recite, memorize it. So your neurons can say, if you're looking at the book, your mind becomes sharper. Then there is a contemplation phase. Now here what he says, Sukshmaya, Sukshma Dashibhihi. Now if you have that kind of intellect, you are able to do that, to see it. I'll take one more very quickly and stop it. Quick one. Okay. How to get this Sushma Buddhi? See, we have, for that, three things you need. First, you need the mental purity. See, Buddhi is what? Buddhi is the top layer of your mind. So it has to be sharp, means it also has to be clean. So if the Buddhi is muddled up, it's messy. Sorry, mind is muddled up, blemishes, kilmisham, then you won't be able to have short mind. So how to purify the mind? Hundreds of exercises. Upasana, good thinking, bhajan, sampradaya bhajan, namasangeetanam, anushtanam, upasana, karma yoga. You may ask, how come don't you think that mentally impure guys, evil people, they can be very bright, intelligent? Maybe because of the Purva Janma Vasana. But that intellect will not help them in the Atma Vidya. It may put him more in the samsara. So you need to have a Chitta Shuddhi. Then you need a Sthira Buddhi, intellectual poise. I am a, you can say I am a satsangi, I am sadhu, I do nice things. Then what do? I just keep quiet. So you can be a good person, but good useless person. You have to be useful to others, you have to be useful to you. Useful to you only comes from when you're useful to others. Sometimes people say, no, I don't care about anything. I just shiver in, I'm there. I'm just doing my job. Fine. But it is not the merit of your human birth. Manhitam, you need to help others. By helping others, you help yourself. Until the time that my body cannot stand up, it dies down, I must be always do something. Teach somebody. Hey, Hida Vakyam. Say, call somebody and say, how are you doing today? Can I help you? So you must always, life has to be a service to others. So being good person is not enough. Must be a good deed, has to be there. But then it has to be intellectual poise. That is, you have a position of steadfastness. This is what I need to do. That you need to do. Now, this is what he says in the next mantra. We just read the mantra and then we stop it for detailed meeting next class. Yaschet Vang Manasi Prajñas Tat Yaschet Jnana Atmani Jnanam Atmani Nakatini Yacchet Tat Yacchet Shanta Atmani. Yacchet. Yacchet means it's a Kriya Padam. It means not controlled, submerged, abiding, having abided. So you abide what? Vang Manasi. Vang means walk, your words, your speaking. May you submerge or abide your speaking in your mind. What do you mean by? It means I keep quiet. Is it what it means? Literally it is. But that is not the lakshyartham for it. Here Vang means it's a indication of indriyas, panchendriyas, your senses. You are seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, talking. All these indriyas, the indriya shakti, have to be controlled into the mind, submerged in the mind. You just pull them back into the mind. That's what it is. What is meant by that? I do mauna viratam, we say. I don't speak. Yes. See, when I say the children, don't make a noise, keep quiet, and everybody is keeping quiet. But the mind is not keeping quiet. Mind is loud. I'm unable to speak. That's why when you are not speaking, in Sanskrit we call it maunam. Maunam is comes from the root mana. See, it should say ashabdam, right? It says maunam. If you're not speaking, but your mind is agitated, that is not maunam. You are just dumb, You are soundless, speechless maybe. You are not maunam. Maunam is when the mind is not having any vrittis. There's nothing to say, nothing to feel, nothing to hear. So maunam is a siddhi. Maunam is not it's a sadhana, but it's a siddhi. Maunam, you cannot be maunam just because you're not speaking. So you need to have, like in Patanjali Yoga, we see that yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana. This pratyahara. What is yama means? Who is yama? Yamadharmaraja. Who controls you, right? Yama is controlling what you should not do. So you must have certain yamas. I will not smoke, I will not drink, I will not lie, I will not sleep beyond 8 o'clock in the morning. So this kind of a discipline, you have yama. Niyama. Niyama is what I will definitely do. I will do Sandhya Vandanam. I will do prayers. I will help others. I will speak the truth. Every day I put the food to the birds. Niyama. Asana. Asana is the posture. How do I seat myself? Then you have pranayama. Then you have pratyahara. Pratyahara means, I'm just recalling Patanjali Yoga Sutra, to withdraw the senses into the mind. Like the tortoise, when you touch the tortoise, it takes all the legs and the head into the cage, the casket, until danger is gone, it comes out. The ability to pull all the indriyas into the mind, you need. You must do it. Then it says, the prajnaha, the jnani, tat yajnet jnanadmani. So that jnani, that siddha prajnan is able to take the mind in the buddhi. Jnanatmani is buddhi. The mind abides in the buddhi. Jnanam atmani mahadi. Yes, mahat atma. The buddhi abides in the cosmic intelligence. Neyachyate tat achet shanta atmani. The cosmic intelligence have to abide in the shanta atma, the paramatma. We will see this in the next class. I think it requires a little bit more time. I know Balaji needs to go early today, so I will stop it here. So I think next class we will take, I think there are only 17 mantras. So 30 to 17. I think we'll take next class maybe 10 minutes extra. We'll finish it off this Valli. Okay. Om Shakana Bhavatu.
Om Sahanavatu.
Sahanam Punaktu.
Sahanavatu.
Sakaviryan Karavavahai.
Mahavir Karavavahai
Tejasvinavadidamastu.
Tejasvinavadidavastu
Ma Vidvishavahai.
Avidvishavahai
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Hari Om Tat Sat.
Hari Om Tasyate.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Raj.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Now I have to rush. Okay.
I hope it's
See
a
you
good
next week.
time.